Hello, you guys, and welcome to the Abundance Lab with me, your host, Lauren Marie. If you're watching the YouTube video, you might see I have a new mic situation. I got a new phone, kind of forgot that my old podcast mic hooked up to my old phone, and now, the little jack is not the same, so we're working with the mini mic for now until I can figure out the best podcast mic I want to get. But luckily, the quality is still really good because my phone is still really good. So, shout out. If you're watching, thank you. Hello. This is the first episode of the Abundance Lab on YouTube. And yes, if you are a longtime listener, we have a new name for the podcast, the Abundance Lab. I just feel like this fits the era that I am in, the direction that I have been continuously moving in, the brand that I am building and expanding, and the vibe of this podcast. Your girl is a neuroscientist, so we are up in the lab building and creating abundance, and I just feel like that fits. So I hope you guys love the new name. I would love to hear your feedback if you want to DM me on Instagram or post on your stories. But our first episode as the Abundance Lab is going to be all about scarcity versus abundance. If you have ever felt like no matter how much money you make, it never feels like enough, that's not just in your head. It's actually in your brain, in your nervous system, and even in your lineage. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about what scarcity versus abundance looks like in the brain, why generational and systemic scarcity gets passed down, and some actionable steps to start rewiring from scarcity into abundance. I also am currently doing a full scarcity detox series on my Instagram and TikTok. I also will have those up on YouTube Shorts, so you can follow me on Instagram at Elevate with Lauren, find me on TikTok at Elevate with Lauren, or find me on YouTube at Elevate with Lauren, and you can watch that full series there. It's starting in September, and it will be going through September and October. So there's going to be a lot more tips in that series for how to detox from scarcity. So let's start with first. What is a scarcity mindset? Do I have a scarcity mindset? And I do have another episode that goes all into how to know if you are stuck in scarcity. But some clear signs are constantly worrying about not having enough, a fear of loss, hoarding your time, your money, or even your energy. And the neuroscience breakdown of this is that scarcity thinking activates your amygdala, which is the fear center of your brain. And it creates tunnel vision. So once your amygdala gets activated, your prefrontal cortex gets shut down, which is your logical mind. So it literally creates tunnel vision, and your brain will literally only focus on the lack instead of the possibilities. That is just naturally how you are wired to work. Some examples of what this might look like in real life: passing up opportunities because what if it doesn't work? Saving aggressively but still never feeling fully safe or abundant. Or hustling to avoid losing it all. What we want to do is shift into an abundance mindset. An abundance mindset is trust in sufficiency and expansion, finding creative solutions, and seeing money as a renewable resource and not a limited one. And the neuroscience breakdown of an abundance mindset: abundance activates that prefrontal cortex, which is logic, vision, problem solving. And it opens pathways for creativity and long-term thinking. So for example, you say yes to an aligned investment. That is abundance mindset. That is you using your logic and seeing the vision for yourself and making that investment. You start delegating in your business. That's going to open so much more time and energy for you. This is something I actually recently did. I've started delegating and working with one of my fave past clients, and that is me stepping into a next level of abundance by sharing my work, so I can create more time and energy for myself. Or resting without guilt. This was my biggest one at the beginning of my journey. I have a tattoo that says relax because I could not relax in the past. I could not rest without guilt. And that is a very clear sign of being stuck in a scarcity loop and in scarcity mindset. There is also generational and systemic scarcity. If you are new to my page, I am very much an advocate for women of color, Black and brown women. My ideal target is specifically helping Black and brown women overcome these generational and systemic beliefs. There are 100 of white women out there talking about mindset work and the subconscious mind, but none of them understand the lived experiences of women of color, and they don't understand the generational and systemic scarcity that gets passed down to us in our beliefs and in our DNA, and therefore they can't help us overcome that. But I can help you overcome that because I am you, I understand it, I have lived it, and I have overcome it myself. So scarcity beliefs aren't just personal. They're very, very often inherited. Generational trauma can look like families surviving on just enough and a lot of internalized messages like money is hard to get, money doesn't grow on trees, you have to save your money, you should never use a credit card, etc., etc. Systemic patterns look like racism, pay gaps, lack of access to resources, and these conditions wire the brain for vigilance and scarcity. So as women of color, we are born into a system that has already set us 10 steps behind anyone else. So we have in our minds that we have to work harder just to be even with people, when in reality we just have to rewire. We have to rewire our DNA, rewire our beliefs, and rewire our brains into an abundance mindset, and that's when we can let go of scarcity. Thinking we have to hustle harder is what keeps us in that loop. It's really important to note, it is not your fault that you default to scarcity thinking. It is how you were brought up. It is the systems that you live and work in every single day. But it is your responsibility, your choice, your empowerment to rewire it. For example, women of color carrying subconscious money fears even after achieving financial stability. A lot of people that I work with are making a lot of money, but they're not holding on to it because they still have scarcity things running in the background that are creating self-sabotage behaviors. So you can make a shit ton of money and still not be able to hold on to any of it because of scarcity patterns, because of scarcity mindset. Some examples of how scarcity might be showing up in your life: constantly overthinking your money decisions, feeling guilty for spending or investing in yourself, believing that abundance is for other people but not for you, or getting stuck in hustle mode just to prove your worth. Some action steps that you can start taking today to shift from scarcity to abundance. Awareness practice. Catch yourself in scarcity language. When you start to think, I can't afford XYZ, stop and reframe to, how can I create the abundance I need for XYZ? Or if it's something that's truly not aligned with you and the money that you have right now and the money that you want to be spreading around the world, you can say, this is not in alignment with me right now. That does not mean you can't afford it. It means that's not in alignment with you right now. Become aware of the thought patterns that you already have, of the words that you're speaking about and around money, and start reframing them. This is going to create a massive shift on its own. The big one, regulating your nervous system. Scarcity feels unsafe, and then your nervous system gets addicted to that unsafe feeling to the point where feeling safe, calm, cool, and collected feels uncomfortable. So you have to start practicing that calm, cool, and collective energy now. So slow breathing, grounding, or movement, those can all calm your amygdala and help the prefrontal cortex come back online. Small evidence building. So track your abundance daily. Anything that you receive, an unexpected gift, money wins, new opportunities, a free coffee, finding a penny on the ground. Track your abundance. Build that evidence for your brain to see abundance is truly all around you. It doesn't require hard work. It doesn't require XYZ. All you have to do is exist, and abundance can and does exist around you. This is going to rewire your reticular activating system, which is a part of your brain that its whole purpose is to find the patterns that you pay attention to and bring more of that into your life. So right now, you might be focusing on the lack in your life, and then you're going to attract more lack. But if you focus on the abundance, you're going to attract more abundance. That is literally a guarantee. That is how your brain works. It is neuroscience, okay? Trust me, try it, you will see. Generational reframe. Acknowledge your family and the system's survival strategies with compassion. You can say, thank you for these systems and these thoughts that have kept me and generations of my family alive and going, but I release this now. I choose to release generational scarcity, and I choose to embrace generational wealth and abundance, and that is going to be my legacy that I pass down to all further generations after me. I choose to be the cycle breaker. And affirm, I honor what they went through, but I choose a new pattern. It doesn't have to feel like turning your back on your past generations, on your lineage, on your ancestors. They want this for you. They have wanted it for you. They wanted it for themselves, and they're so excited that you're about to achieve it. They want this for their lineage, okay? And taking aligned, abundant action. Spend on something that feels expensive without guilt. I'm not saying go book a $10,000 vacation, but make one little purchase that right now in your scarcity mindset feels too expensive or too crazy, whether that's investing in a coach or just a nice meal or resting, going to the spa, getting your nails done, getting a massage. Whatever that may be, invest in that. That is aligned, abundant action. And train your brain to feel safe in overflow. So when you do make that little purchase, make sure you sit and feel calm. And if you feel anxious right after you do it, sit, take some deep breaths, calm your nervous system, and remind your brain and your body that it is safe for you to exist in overflow. So to recap, scarcity versus abundance isn't just mindset fluff. It's neuroscience and generational wiring. But your brain is plastic and you can rewire it. That is the magical thing. If you want to go deeper into rewiring these patterns, you can grab my new free mini course, the 3-day abundance reset, how to stop subconsciously sabotaging your wealth and worth. There will be a link for that in the show notes. And if you're ready to go all in, maybe you want to make that little thing, that little investment that feels expensive for yourself today, you can grab my course, Rewire for Rich. It's only $44, less than 2 cocktails at the bar. And it's going to give you the exact subconscious reprogramming tools that I use with my one-on-one clients that are proven and backed by neuroscience to rewire your lack of safety with money. And if you really, really, really want to go all in, if you know you have a big belief that you need to get out, you can schedule a subconscious reprogramming session with me. This is a one-on-one session where we will do a personalized clearing on a personalized fear versus a general fear that I can put inside of a course. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. Thank you for sticking with the podcast through that little break while I rebranded and relaunched. I am so excited to be back as the Abundance Lab, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Bye.